Welcome to Lesson 2. In this lesson, we're going to be talking about the two chambers of the U.S. Congress, the bicameral institution discussed in our previous lesson, the U.S. Senate, and the U.S. House of Representatives. I'm hoping that by the end of this lesson, you'll be able to compare and contrast the qualifications, powers, and roles of the two chambers. So let's start at the top, and let's talk about the upper chamber, the U.S. Senate. The U.S. Senate represents the states. There's two for each state. That means there's 100 in all. The U.S. Senate is led by the Senate Majority Leader. That basically the political party that has the majority in power, if Republicans are in majority in the Senate, they elect a leader of them. If Democrats are in the majority, they elect a leader. They oversee and set the agenda. They decide which bills will come up for a full chamber vote. They assign committee positions. They have a lot of power in the U.S. Senate. Also, secondarily, other leaders in the U.S. Senate are the Senate President pro tempore, who is usually the senior ranking, longest serving senator of the majority party. They are also fourth in line to the president. And the Vice President of the United States is also the President of the Senate, meaning that if there's a tie vote in the U.S. Senate, the Vice President gets to break the tie. Since there's always going to be an even number, it is conceivable that literally you would have a 50-50 split. The Vice President is the one that would break that tie vote. Members of the Senate are elected to 6-year terms. They are the longest serving elected federal position. In order to be a U.S. Senator, you have to be at least 30 years old and a resident of the state that you're representing. Now, does that mean you have to be a lifelong resident? No. For example, Hillary Clinton used to be the senator from New York, but only moved to New York about a year before she ran for office there. You have to be a resident, but there's no qualification of how long of a resident you have to be. Remember that you're representing the entire state, not just a section of the state. So you have to do campaigning from all across your state. If you have a very big geographic state like, say, Texas, it's a daunting position. U.S. senators used to be elected by the state legislature, meaning that they were an appointed position. However, the 17th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution changed that, thankfully. So now we, the people, elect our senators to the U.S. Senate directly. The lower chamber is the House of Representatives. They represent the people. The number of members of the House varies from state to state. It's based on population. So, for example, states with a large population, say California, might have up to 54 representatives, whereas states with a very small population, say Montana, might only have one representative. Overall, every state has representation. Just the bigger the population, the more representatives. In all, there's 435 members of the House of Representatives. The House of Reps is led by the Speaker of the House. Like the Senate Majority Leader, the Speaker of the House is elected by the majority party. They set the agenda, they assign committee positions, they decide what bills will be voted on. The Speaker of the House is often referred to as the most powerful member of the U.S. Congress, and is third in line to the presidency. So, to give you an idea, if the President and Vice President were on a plane and it crashed, the Speaker of the House is now the President. Because the members of the House of Representatives are meant to reflect the will of the people, they have a very short term, 2 years. That means basically they get elected and they're working to get reelected right away. 2 years is a very short term. It was designed to reflect how the people feel in a given moment. So if the people are really frustrated, let's say, with one political party, they might elect a different party, and then 2 years later, they might have changed their mind. It's meant to reflect the feel of the people, whereas the Senate is designed to be much more steady and slower to change. In order to be elected to the House of Representatives, you have to be at least 25 years old, and you have to be a resident of the state and of the district that you are representing. So each state is divided up into many different districts. New Jersey is currently divided into 10 districts. So, say for example, your Congressman Bill Pascrell has to live within the area, the 9th District of New Jersey that he represents. He wouldn't be able to represent, let's say, people that live in southern New Jersey because they're not within his district. Whereas a U.S. Senator represents the entire state. Cory Booker, Robert Menendez, whether you're in Bergen County or Cape May or in Trenton or on the shore, no matter what, they are still your senator. So, now that we've discussed both sides, one of the best ways for you to make a comparison is for you to complete a Venn diagram. Inside of your packet was a Venn diagram sheet for the House of Representatives and the U.S. Senate. You should be including the terms of office, their qualifications, their leadership, who they represent. Make sure you have these differences laid out and also the things that are similar. As you can hear, the bell just rang, and that brings our lesson to a conclusion. Thanks for watching.